Well, today I'm making stir fry. And in my stir fry, I'm going to have carrots, half an onion, a couple garlics, scallion, peppers of my choice, bok chow. Some people call it pak chow. That's what it looks like. And cabbage. So now, on the stove is my pot. I'm going to add olive oil, just enough. Turn on the fire. And I'm going to go back to prepare my stuff. So the first thing I want to have in my pot are my seasoning. And the ones that I like to put in first is the garlic. So I chop that up. So you're going to prepare your garlic. Cut it up small. And you know, olive oil, some people don't like the taste of olive oil, depending on what type you buy. And you want to cut that taste out. You don't want to taste it in the food. The best way to do it is pepper, you know, to take away the taste from the oil. This is a very hot pepper, so I'm just going to use a little piece like this. No seed. The seed is where the heat is. You don't want to, you know, burn up yourself because you can have stomach issue from the heat of the pepper. Which, you know, it's also good for you. But too much of it is not. Too much of anything is not good for you. So I chopped up my peppers. And the next seasoning I like to put in a pot is the onion. Because you want your onion to cook all the way through before you start adding the vegetables. You know, take away that onion taste. You don't want the onion to overpower the meal. So I'm going to add these to the pot. So you could go ahead and start that at a time. Now, the next, the vegetable that I like to add first are the vegetables that are hard to cook. Carrots, and I like to cut them a little big. I don't have time. I'm a busy person, so I cut them this big. They're all gonna get chewed and go down my throat. So I really don't have time to get all fancy. So I just cut them lengthwise. You hold the carrot and cut them lengthwise. In case my daughter is watching, Chantel, she's away in college, living off campus, and at times, you know, she wants to know, how did you prepare that, Mom? Well, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing the video. So I let my onion saute out. Then set my carrots aside because I'm going to add them next. Scallion, you want to cut them up. This is what scallions look like. Alright, some people call them Chinese onion. Yeah, that's what you get in stir-fry rice. If you get the good stir-fry rice, you chop it up. Now, if you don't really like onions, you don't have to put onion in there because the scallion do the same thing. It's just that I like my stuff well seasoned because I'm not going to add salt or pepper or anything, powdered pepper, just the regular pepper. None of that stuff going to add to my food. So I'm going to get the natural seasoning from these here. And the next thing that I'm going to add, I'm going to add my scallion to the pot. Sorry, okay. Flip the video around, but that's, you can hear the pot. I kind of, you have to keep your eye on it. So, in the pot, that's what it looks like. So, the onions to turn into like see-through, that's what you want. Okay. So now that looks good, I'm going to add my carrots. I'm going to cover my pot a little so that the carrots can get cooked. Now, out of these two vegetables, the bok chow takes a little longer to cook, so that go in the pot next, and the cabbage go in last, because I don't like cabbage all cooked out and taste mushy. I like it crunchy. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop up these bad boys, bok chow. So always bear in mind when you're preparing vegetables that you always peel them apart, wash the thing thoroughly, because sometimes insect can be found in between. You know, you don't want to mess up your meal. And sometimes it's not even that, it's sand can be in between it as well. You find a lot of that in spinach. So with the bok chow, these vegetables, this part of the vegetable is harder, so that part I put in the pot next. Here my pot's going. So this is next to my stir fry. And if you have a wok, you know, it's good to cook it in there. So I'm setting aside my leaves from the bok chow. I'm not adding it yet. I'm just adding the bottom part. I'm just adding this part. Cover that up. Now I'm gonna prepare my cabbage. You slice up your cabbage, or however you like it. You know, you want to get fancy, you get fancy. Like I said, when you're younger, you do things fancy. When you get older, you want your food to taste good. It's not about being fancy. It's about the taste when you get older. Not saying I'm that old, but prepare your cabbage. You can slice it as thin as you want or as thick as you want. And just bear in mind with cabbage, some part of the cabbage is harder than some, and you might want to slice those a little bit smaller. And stir fry really don't take long to cook, depending on how you like your vegetables. If you like it crunchy, like me, don't take long. Now this part of the cabbage, I don't really eat, but this part of the cabbage is good for stomach and ulcer and stuff. So you can juice it and drink it if you have an ulcer, and it will help you out. Help to kill the ulcer. You know, that's why cabbage, you should always eat cabbage, you know, even if it's once a week. It helps to flush that system. We don't want stuff sitting in our pipes. And the last on my list is my sweet pepper. I'm just gonna slice it up. My son pasta. So that's what the pot look like so far, and I don't want to overcook my vegetables. Even though carrots are a little hard, that's good enough for me. So now I'm gonna add my bok chow, the leaf of the bok chow. you basically add in the rest of the vegetables. The cabbage. It looks like a big pot, but it's shrimp. And I have this bad boy last me for about 3 days. And I'm good. And then I add my peppers on top. I don't like them to cook up too much. And that's it. You just let it cover it up. Let it steam for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then come back and give it a stir. And voila! There you go.